Oh man, there were so many great handhelds that I grew up with, whether it was the original Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, love the Game Boy Advance SP with the backlight and all that, and then when the DS came out, like, really cool stuff, and other people would grew up with, like, the PSP, the Vita, maybe the Game Gear, Atari Lynx. It's just really cool. So, what's your favorite handheld? I would love to know.
Hehehe, well, my favorite handheld is the Dreamcast here.
The Dreamcast, that's just a home console, not a handheld. It's a great system, but it's not a handheld system.
I don't get what you mean. This seems like a handheld to me. Like, I'm holding it in my hand, aren't I?
Well, that person got me. Guess I'm going to retire after this video. The Game Boy. Such fond memories, especially scrambling to find 4 AA batteries to actually power this thing up, along with finding the right light to play this, especially if you want to play it from your parents under the covers in the dark. You need a flashlight to actually see. Hey everyone, how's it going? Total Level here with another episode of Growing Up Gaming. So in this second episode, we're going to be talking about handhelds and what handhelds I grew up with and all that. So most of this is going to be Nintendo related. So I'm going to cover the original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, along with a tiny bit of the DS, just because there's a fun story with that one. As the DS, I was in high school when I finally got one, but it still makes for a fun story. And PSP Vita, I never grew up with, same with like the Game Gear or Lynx, so yeah, it's going to be heavily focused on all this, so I mean, what better way to begin than with the pack-in title, Tetris. So this was a fantastic, just fun game, right? And, you know, just so addictive. I know my mom played this a ton. Like, she was addicted to this. She was so good at Tetris, and yeah, it's just still so simple but fun to play to this day. And the music of oh, it's so good. And anyone who picked any of the other songs was a complete and utter monster. Okay, let's try this Tetris thing. And oh, what's with this music? Oh man. Okay, this one's not too bad. I can dig this one a lot more than Type A, but I'm still not sure. Do I want this one or not? Oh, okay, C. C is where it's at. Let us begin. Oh, yes. Like, why did they ever create music A? I have no idea. But yeah, no, Tetris, just, that was kind of my first Game Boy experience, along with Kirby's Dream Land, the original. So yeah, just really cool. Now I don't have a physical of that one, though I do have like the Wii version of Kirby's Dream Land collection, and yeah, just really enjoyed that game still. And yeah, that's going to be kind of the primary background music for this video, is just Kirby's Dream Land, because yeah, it's a fantastic soundtrack. Green Greens is still so iconic, and yeah, what a fantastic game. And even though it's super short, I just love it. So that's pretty much my original Game Boy stuff, right? Like, when it came to the Game Boy, there wasn't too many games I grew up or played. A lot of the games I would play would have been console, because, growing up, especially having friends over, we would want to play games together, right? But, so we move up to kind of updated version of the Game Boy Color, which, yeah, adds color along with using just two AA batteries here instead of 4, right? And yes, and this was during the time too where you had these transparent covers and everything, but yeah, really cool handheld. And again, not much got played until certain franchise came out. We get Pokemon here, so yeah, first it's Pokemon Blue, followed by, or Red and Blue, and then Yellow later, followed by Gold, Silver, and then Crystal, and yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a video talking about growing up with Pokemon later on, so I won't talk too much about these, but this was my handheld experience for the longest time. I don't believe I really owned any other Game Boy games at all. It was pretty much just Pokemon, and then yeah, of course Tetris, and we did Kirby's Dream Land, but that was pretty much it for Game Boy Color. But yeah, it's, you know, still a fantastic, just, I can't tell you how much Pokemon changed everything, because it wasn't just the games, it was the anime too, right? And there, yeah, so much I could quote from the anime, just like the first episode of like, oh, you're playing fetch, you're oh, you're playing catch, you're friends already, yeah, that's it. Spearow, do you know who I am? I'm Ash from the town of Pallet. I can't be defeated by the likes of you. It's so good, but yeah, and then kind of other Game Boy experiences, wasn't too many, but wasn't until, yeah, I basically met my friend Jordan, which you've seen him on my channel a few times, and I remember him introducing me to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on Game Boy Color, and yeah, I was just fascinated by it because it's like, oh, Harry Potter Final Fantasy? That sounds so cool, and yeah, it's very, very fun, you know, it's a solid game, and yeah, it's very different, but yeah, it was really cool to experience that. And I know he also showed me, yeah, like Pokemon trading card game, but yeah, I didn't really play it too much, and yeah, again, I'll cover that a bit more when I do Pokemon kind of video. And yeah, I think that's pretty much my, like I said, my whole Game Boy Color experience, right? It's very, very neat, and you know, and yeah, not too many games, but yeah, Pokemon was definitely just worth playing over and over. And then I believe it was Christmas 2003, got Game Boy Advance SP, which this is still my original Game Boy Advance here, so yeah, it's definitely roughed up, it's, you know, dirty, and yeah, like the back here is just worn out with the serial number and all that, but yeah, still love it. And then the two games I got for Christmas would have been Final Fantasy Tactics Advance here, along with Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance with 4 swords. So yeah, let me talk about Link to the Past first, because this was interesting. So this was kind of my first real dive into this classic game, right? Because I said before, like, I played the original Super Nintendo game, but I never really got to dive too much into it, so this was really my first time playing through the entire game and beating it. And I said this story too before, where friends got frustrated with me not knowing where to go or not having certain extra items you can have, and they took the Game Boy from my hands, even though I told them not to do that. I want to beat the game first and then I'll do all the extras, and they got all, you know, these little extra power-ups for me, and I ended up starting the entire game over again because that made me mad. But you know, because I didn't ask them to do that. I said specifically, please don't. Like, I want to beat it first and then I'll look for all the secrets. But yeah, and then Four Swords, I can't really talk too much about that, but it was always fun going to school early, right before, you know, about an hour before classes even started, just to get together, link cables all hooked up, and standing in an awkward spot, just huddled all together, playing this, people looking over your shoulder, all that sort of stuff, right? And yeah, just really cool stuff. And then Final Fantasy Tactics, that one I really enjoyed though. It does have its issues because that game, you know, you have a judge, and it's a cool concept that's sort of poorly executed, right? Because it's a great concept to have, like, rules to say, like, okay, you can't use fire magic this round, right? And that's really cool. It makes you change your strategy if, you know, you have a bunch of enemies weak to ice, or weak to fire, I should say. Like, you can't use fire magic, so you have to improvise, but yeah, I went a little too far with some of them, and yeah, it just kind of got frustrating, but I still really enjoy that game, and yeah, that was my kind of first experience with kind of the Game Boy Advance, and it turned out to be a system I absolutely loved, as yeah, I bought a bunch of games and got many more for Christmas, so kind of my favorite Christmas, or what, I shouldn't say my favorite, one of my favorites is, because I would have to go back and look at kind of my favorite Christmases growing up, but one of my favorites was, I asked my mom, like, okay, I want more Mario games on Game Boy Advance, I don't really have them, so can, you know, just get me anything that's Mario, right? And so, yeah, I got pretty cool ones, so we'll start with one that's actually reviewed pretty poorly, but I really enjoyed this one, and it's Mario Pinball Land. So, yeah, I mean, I love pinball games anyway, so yeah, you put in a Nintendo skin, which, man, Nintendo did this a ton with all their stuff is, yeah, it was just pinball, and just, yeah, this game was pretty cool, and yeah, you kind of have certain objectives, certain bosses. Now, with it being pinball, it does get a bit frustrating because, you know, you have to get to certain areas, and with it being pinball, you don't exactly have full control of where kind of the Mario ball is going, right? Which can be frustrating, but yeah, still love this game for sure. And then the other Mario game that she got me, which I'm sure I have like the box and manual somewhere around, but I'm not sure where, you know, I would have to dig through a bunch of stuff because I know when I moved in like 2021, I found quite a few Game Boy Advance boxes and manuals, but some of them I didn't, so I'm sure they're still around. But yeah, the other game she got me, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, so yeah, it's just one of the coolest RPGs you can play. It's so fun, and I was so blown away by this game because I didn't really expect it, and I can't remember if I got this before Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, right? So I want to say I got this before I got that game for like my birthday, so it was really cool to play kind of this Mario RPG because I did play the original Paper Mario growing up, but I again didn't really get to dive much into it, so this was kind of, I want to say this was one of my first kind of Mario RPG experiences that I really got to dive into, right? And because yeah, Super Mario RPG wasn't until quite a while later, and yeah, so fantastic game. Yeah, it's kind of hard to remember all this stuff. Like, I'm trying to remember of like, okay, did I do that? Like, what did I do as a kid? And yeah, so then yeah, we'll just kind of quickly go through a bunch of other ones because a bunch of these I would have got for like birthdays, Christmases, and then others I would just bought on my own. So I believe these are the Christmas one, so again, I'm sure I have the box somewhere. I found the manual for this, so I'm sure the box is somewhere, but it's Zelda Minish Cap. Fantastic game. I mean, this is one of my favorite Zeldas ever. Very underrated. Is so cool, and yeah, I think the only issue I have is with the Kinstone pieces because it uses a lot of RNG with that, but other than that, is such a cool game, and yeah, made by Capcom, I believe, and yeah, they did a fantastic job, which, yeah, they did fantastic job with, you know, before, because, yeah, they did, like, Oracle of Seasons and Ages, which is another game I did play on Game Boy Color before, but again, I didn't really dive much into it, not until I got kind of the 3DS and bought those games digitally through the eShop. And then, yeah, we'll go through the next 3 in boxes here. So, yeah, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland, and then, yeah, Sonic Advance 2. So, yeah, we'll start with Final Fantasy. So, yeah, this was my first experience with the first Final Fantasy. Really cool game. I love it to this day. You know, it's very simple, but I love the customization just early on with this, right, of kind of creating what party members you want, of like warriors, monk, mages, whatever, and I'm not sure if this one fixed the issue, because I know there was an issue on the original NES where, depending on which slot party members were in, enemies would attack them more frequently. Like if you were kind of in the first spots, then you like 75% chance enemies will attack you, and then the bottom 2 were like 25%. Yeah, so I'm not sure they fixed that with this one, but yeah, cool. And then Final Fantasy 2, pretty underrated though. It's another game that had a great idea that wasn't greatly executed, which I find that seems to be the case with a lot of Final Fantasy games, because in that one you don't actually level up, you don't get experience. The way you level up or get stronger is through your attacks, right? So depending on which attacks you use or damage you take, you know, you power yourself up, but yeah, the issue with that is there's exploits you can do to make yourself super powerful, like if you completely never attack and just kind of let enemies keep attacking you, then your like defense will skyrocket or something like that. I can't quite. Oh yeah, you can attack your own party members to level them up. That was it. Yeah. So bit of an exploit there, but yeah, I still really love it and really enjoyed the story. Then Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, remake of Kirby's Adventure on NES, and yeah, I really love this game. I put a ton of time into this, many hours, you know, play through the game multiple times, because yeah, you get kind of regular modes, 100% that, you get extra mode, and if you 100% that, then you get the Meta Knight mode, which lets you kind of play as Meta Knight throughout the whole game, but you have to do it in one go. There's no saving or anything like that. So of course, if you're like me and play on like the Retron, then yeah, there will be save states you can use, but yeah, just really cool game, really loved it. And then Sonic Advance 2, another fantastic game I love, I believe. No, this wasn't the debut of Cream the Rabbit, but it was the first time you could play as Cream the Rabbit, because I believe Cream was kind of special unlock in like the Sonic Mega Collection, like just artwork or whatever, right? But yeah, I believe that was kind of first case that people got to saw Cream, but yeah, this game you got to play as her for the first time. But yeah, really love that game. I mean, I love a lot of Sonic games, like there's very few that I truly hate, even if they're, you know, pretty glitchy. And so, yeah, that's a lot of kind of the Game Boy Advance experience, and then, yeah, just a couple games that I sort of bought on my own would be, yeah, Monster Rancher 2 here, Advance, which, yeah, I love this game. I mean, I was obsessed with this game. I put hours upon hours, start games over all the time, and yeah, just a really fun, just kind of light simulator experience, right? But there was something about it that I just could not put this game down. I really enjoyed this one, and then Sword of Mana, another fantastic game. I mean, I think I love all the Mana games. Mana, Manana, I don't know. However you want to say Mana or Mana. But yeah, really enjoyed this one, and yeah, like I said, I don't think there's been one that I truly did not like, so that's pretty much it of what I grew up with, kind of Game Boy Advance stuff, and then kind of game that, yeah, I believe Jordan showed me, or we went to friend's house and I played it there, and yeah, I eventually got this game for myself, and that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Sacred Cards. So I'll talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Growing up too at some point, because yeah, I was obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh! But really fun game, and it's very easy. That's the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, is they're either way too easy or way too difficult. This one's super easy, but yeah, I really enjoyed it because it followed like kind of Battle City arc of the anime, and yeah, just really enjoyed that one. And so to end all this, oh, I almost dropped it. Just quick little story about the DS here. So my first ever job was being a dishwasher, and yeah, I wasn't very good at it, I'll admit, but yeah, just first job, dishwasher at a restaurant, and my first paycheck was getting this DS here. This is still my original fat DS, and yeah, really loved it. And then yeah, I said when I picked this up, this was the first game I got, was Age of Empires, Age of Kings, so really liked this game, you know, kind of that tactical RPG style, and yeah, really fun, and yeah, just really enjoyed this one. And then a couple others I remember getting was Super Mario 64 DS, because yeah, I love, you know, the original Super Mario 64, and yeah, getting this one, and really fun, you know, like I like the kind of changes they did. I know it's not everyone's favorite game, but I really enjoy it. But what I probably was obsessed more with, which I think this is with a lot of people, were the little mini games you get to play. They were so fun of, yeah, trying to find each icon, or yeah, like there were so many cool mini games with it. It was so fun. And then the final kind of one I bought right away would have been Metroid Prime Hunters, and yeah, now you're seeing me play an emulator and trying to use keyboard and mouse, and this game is not very intuitive with trying to do that. Like, I would have to remap the controls just for that game to actually move and shoot and everything like that, because oh man, it was hard to play that. But yeah, really liked that game, and I remember, yeah, my best friend at the time in high school, we'd play multiplayer, and even though he never played the game, he would beat me quite often in that game, and I'm like, oh, I guess I suck at video games, huh? So, yeah, that's kind of my experience growing up with handhelds. Again, like, Pokemon we'll dive more into, because, yeah, I forgot to mention, like, Pokemon Pinball was another game grew up with the Game Boy Color, but we'll dive more into that later on, right? And, yeah, just really cool stuff. And while I don't do as much handheld gaming as before, those memories are so good, and just gained so many of these games that I still have that were, you know, birthday Christmas presents means a lot to me, because unfortunately growing up, a lot of my games were kind of sold behind my back, whether they were birthday or Christmas gifts. Like, it's kind of why my GameCube collection is pretty small now, which is way, you know, it's too bad. Like, it still frustrates me, but, you know, there's not much you can do about that, so it's really cool to have a lot of these original games still. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what handheld games you grew up with and how fun they were for you. And I'll see you next time for more growing up gaming episodes along with other videos I do. Alright, thanks everyone, take care. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, or if you just want to see any of my skits and then nothing else and leave the video, that's fine too. Thanks everyone, take care.